Welcome to our scenic cruise through the south of France. And the pretty French town we're exploring today is Viviers. Is Viviers a gateway to Provence?
One could say so, yes. As soon as you leave Viviers, going to the south, you come across a limestone cliff that is actually the geological limit to the very north of the Provence region.
So we're nearly in Provence.
Yes, one more step and we'll be there.
So the Madonna overlooking the town of Viviers.
Yeah, she is here as a protector of the town.
Founded back in the 5th century, Viviers is one of those towns where time seems to stand still.
Yeah, so here in Viviers we are actually in a conservation area, so whenever people want to paint the shutters and the doors, they have to choose the colors from a certain scheme of colors.
Centuries ago, this village thrived with over 30,000 residents.
Bonjour. Bonjour. Bonjour.
And while now there's just a fraction of that, it's still home to the smallest cathedral in France and the region's bishop. So what's the difference between a church and a cathedral?
Very simple. The cathedral has the seat of the bishop. The cathedral word comes from the Greek word Cathedral, which means the seat of the bishop. So yes, we do have a bishop in this town, and he lives right there in that fabulous residence.
So no bishop,
no cathedral.
Church.
Absolutely right.
So this is the smallest cathedral in France.
It is.
The Cathedral of St. Vincent is one of the oldest in the country, and while it was completed in the 12th century, it's been refurbished over the years, with part of its vaulted ceiling from the 18th century. The cathedral is also known for its unique tapestries, some of which have only recently made their way back to the cathedral walls. I believe a couple of these tapestries have been stolen.
Yes. Initially, there were actually 6 tapestries acquired by a bishop in the 19th century, and unfortunately, back in 1974, 3 of them were stolen, and 2 were recovered much later in 1980 in Italy. So they were returned by a policeman who found out they belonged to Viviers. It was going to be very difficult to return them.
So the policeman just put the tapestry in his car and drove them back to France?
Absolutely, because they had entered Italy illegally, so they couldn't leave the country legally. So he made them leave the country illegally in the back of his car.
So thanks to him, we can come here and enjoy them.
Absolutely.
While some guests opt to go back to the ship and relax, I've decided to make the most of the sunshine and see more of the countryside up around the Ardeche Canyon. We're back on the water, and this time it's under our own steam, which is probably good because I have been eating for Australia. Now, this gorge is interesting on so many fronts. Not only is it visually spectacular, but it also dates back more than 110 million years. An afternoon kayak through the Ardeche is just one of the scenic free choice options. But if that looks a little extreme, there's also the option of a sightseeing tour to the Pont de Garde aqueduct, built over 2,000 years ago. At 49 metres high and almost 300 metres long, it's one of the biggest aqueducts known from Roman times and is a true masterpiece of ancient architecture. From there, we've made our way down the Rhone into Provence. We're in Avignon, famous for being the seat of the Pope in the 14th century, and of course for its much celebrated and sung about bridge. The Pont d'Avignon, as it's known, was quite an impressive engineering feat for its time. My guide, Gillen Bongiovanni, tells me what we see today is just a fraction of the original structure.
This bridge was the link between the 2 banks of the Rhone River. So it was a very long bridge, so 1 kilometer long. And to maintain a bridge like that, it costs a lot of money to the city and to the inhabitants of Avignon. And so at the end, people decided to just give up the bridge in the 17th century. 22 arches when it was complete, and we have only 4 arches left today.
Which probably actually makes it more famous, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The centre of town for over 500 years is the Place de la Loge, an open square with the town hall on one side and the 19th century theatre next door.
This is really the heart of Avignon, yes, with all the cafes. It was already the heart of Avignon in the Roman time with the Forum, the market in the Middle Age, so it wasn't still here the heart of the city.
So nothing really changes. Everyone still likes to gather in the city square.
Yeah.
As the seat of the Vatican for over 60 years, Avignon was a place of incredible wealth, and the remnants of that can be seen in the grand buildings that still stand to this day. The grandest of them all is the much revered Pope's Palace. Ah, you can see the Pope's Palace from nearly everywhere in Avignon.
Yeah, really from everywhere. It's so massive, you cannot miss it, and it's very impressive. It's one of the biggest Gothic palaces in the world. It's big, like 4 Gothic cathedral, 15,000 square meters of floors. It's really called it palace, but it looks more like a fortress or like a castle.
Very humbling.
Yeah.